The first data that we want to look at is the audience. This is great for figuring out who your target audience is, who is actually coming to your website. You might have an idea for who you're creating content for, but when you look at your data, it might be something different, or it might confirm your expectations. So at the beginning of the Digital Marketing Masterclass, we created our target audience. This was just who we think our website and our products and services are for. Now we can actually analyze that data. So under audience, you have this basic overview, which is basically just really briefly how many people are coming to your website, the language that they speak. This in itself is not that helpful. But when we dive into some of these other categories, for example, let's go to the overview of the demographics. We can see that for Video School Online, most people are between 18 and 34 years old. Most people are male. This means, one, that we should cater our content to this type of audience, and or if you want to increase the amount of people who are older, or maybe if we want more females interested in our website, we need to change the way that we are creating our content, change the voice, change the personality. Not that one way is right or wrong. It kind of depends on what your goals are, but you definitely don't want to be disserving the female audience or the audience that's, for example, over 45 years old if you want to actually serve that audience. And for example, I know with my classes that a lot of 18 to 24-year-olds don't have a lot of disposable income where they're willing to pay for an online course, for example. And so perhaps I do need to cater more towards the older audience and figure that out. If we go down under age, we can see specifically the categories. We can see how often they're watching, how often they're the new user, which one has the higher bounce rate, how many pages people are viewing per session, what the average session looks like. For the older audience, they're spending more time. For this young audience, 18 to 24, they're 37 seconds average duration. That doesn't surprise me because the younger generations like to click around from place to place. You can do the same thing for gender and see if there's a difference there. This next tab under interest is very important to look at. This gives you those categories that Google kind of comes up with, and this can help you figure out who you're going to advertise to. Earlier in this Digital Marketing Masterclass, we learned about creating YouTube ads, and these were some of the categories that you're given. You're not able to search for people who specifically like Adobe Premiere Pro and send people those ads. But what we can find is that a lot of people that visit our site are that Shutterbug category or movie lover category or the shoppers and value shoppers category. So this is the category or the type of people that we would target with our YouTube ads or with our Google ads in the future. Under geography, we can see the countries that are most represented. Scroll down and you can see, for me, obviously mostly English-speaking countries are at the top, but then you can also see that countries like Germany, the Netherlands, these are well represented. They have a lot of people that speak English as well as their own language. So that's why they might be visiting our site more. But this is, again, if for some reason you're getting a lot of Spanish speakers from Spain or from Mexico or from other countries, you might need to create more content to cater to those audiences. For example, I have a big audience from India, and that's partly because there's just so many people in India, and they are often looking for ways to learn new skills. That's what I found from my courses and from my tutorials. And so speaking out directly to this audience is important. For example, in an article, we can speak out, say, hey, welcome people from India, from the United Kingdom, because that will connect them better with you as a person and a brand. And it's kind of cool, just up here in the map, you can see how many people visit your site from these specific countries for this past month. And you can change that up there. All of this is to build a better profile for our customer. Under technology, you can see the browsers that these individuals are using. It's really crazy how much you can see. And so overview, of the mobile devices versus desktop versus tablet, just diving deeper into all of these analytics. So use under audience all of these different categories to build a better profile for who your audience is. And this can affect your voice, your branding, how you want to change in the future, or it can affirm your thoughts and your goals that way. In the next video, we're going to look at this acquisition tab, which is important for figuring out where people are coming from and how you can benefit even more from those channels.